Stop!
Bro,
Before you
kinda
comment
sus.
that this is very sus,
Bro,
these are
that's
tadpoles.
sus.
I am building a keyboard, okay?
Oh.
The Frog TKL to be precise. Ribbit. This is a very special keyboard with some special features, and we'll be building it out with some Gateron Hippo switches. Yay, hippos. And one of the best keycap sets ever made, question mark? Wait to find out more. And you're probably wondering what's going on with these cute little guys. Don't worry, I'm just as excited as you are, and we'll talk about that too. Wait, what's that, Chip? A bunch of people aren't subscribed? What? YouTube might have unsubscribed them and they can resubscribe for free? Oh, okay. Well, they better hit that, Chip. Yeah. Anyways, we're just jumping right into it in this video. I've got a package from Swag Keys and Geon Works. Now, my wallet is incredibly unhappy at this package, but I'm kind of happy with it. So I was one of the streamers that was chosen to purchase the Frog TKL at a slightly discounted rate. The Frog TKL is a 10 keyless keyboard, which we'll talk about a little bit more, and I paid $250 for it, and it normally comes in at $285. It comes with this very nice carrying case, which can take quite a few punches, and all of the extra accessories were packaged in there quite well. It shipped from Korea, I think, so I was a little bit sketched out about things not getting here safely, but with all this good packaging, I was quite happy. Now, I think Geon's going to be periodically restocking this board, so definitely keep an eye peeled if you're interested in this board at all. It came with an aluminum plate, but I had to purchase some of the other stuff separately. For example, the PCB was $60 for the hot swap version, and the plate was $30 for the FR4. Also, mentioning good packaging, I thought my strong rock climber Hipyo hands could open this, but like, holy moly, that was a disaster. After fighting with the packaging, I'm able to get out the, oh, that's a pretty board. So this is the Frog TKL. It's a full aluminum keyboard with a brass weight with weird little cutouts in it. TKLs are the big papa of 75%, or the little baby of full-size keyboards, as they keep the little arrow keys separate. This board was incredibly well machined, and honestly I was pretty blown away with the craftsmanship of it. Like, this is a quality piece of work. Look at that frickin' side. Oh, Hipyo side note here. I love boards with little side cutouts like this, as normally if they're too heavy, you can't really pick them up and move them around your desk easily without it. On the back, you see a frog engraving in cursive, which is questionably tacky. And potentially my least favorite aesthetic part of this board is the brass weight. Like, the color choice here just seems like kind of a poopy gold. Like, very, very poopy. And the inside of my brass weight had a really, really big scuff on it, which was quite disappointing. Overall, I'd probably want to recolor the weight. Speaking of weight, let's not wait to get this open. Let's just use our little wow stick, link in the description. And kablamo, all of the screws have been undone. And this reveals what's peculiar about the board and what really sets it apart and makes it unique. Hipyo putting in the tadpoles wrong. Don't put them in like that, by the way. We'll get to the part where I do that correctly. Anyways, let's take a look at the plates that came with the board. This is the aluminum plate, and it's got a lot of flex cuts. And this is the FR4 plate that I had to purchase, and it's gorgeous. I decided to go with this one as I personally like the feel and sound of FR4 a bit more. And yeah, it was pretty. And then next we've got the PCB. Because I like to tinker with stuff a lot more, I got the hot swap version, as it ends up saving you a lot of time. This was $60, and it's got south-facing LEDs, 5-pin support, and a Sangan layout, meaning it uses quite an abnormal spacebar, which is 7U, and some other weird stuff on the bottom. You can look up the Sangan part, but look, it's made in China. It's got a fun sticker. Speaking of made in China, check out my merch, this hemp carry-all pouch that I put all my lube in. You can get it from the link down below and support the channel. It's pretty cool. Speaking of available from the link down below, what's with these segues in this video, Hipyo? So I use Krytox 205G0 to lube my Morgrease stabilizers. I got the Krytox from Kinetic Labs and the Morgrease from Prevail Key Company. However, they were in my drawer of doom, and I kind of lost like 2 of the stems.
The magic stab! The magic stab!
Did I say I lost 2 of them? Yeah, I actually lost 4 of them, and I
Bruh.
ended up having to go with 2 black stems. So my spacebar's a little bit goth, but on a happier note, I decided to build this out with Gateron Hippos. I feel like I have to say this every time I use these switches, but these are not my switch. These are a linear with an unwiped stem, and you can check out my review of them in the top right if I remember to put it up there. These have also been lubed with Krytox 205G0, and I didn't really pick them for any particular reason other than that they feel fine, and I had them not in any build. Also, I'm getting sick of 68 gram springs. So if you actually happen to get one of these and you're following along at home, I put all the switches in the corners first, and then kind of fill around to make sure that the plate works. This is so the plate doesn't warp, and so that you don't accidentally bust out the hot swap sockets. Also, there's some magic, and also I ran out of hippos, so I had to use huskies for the F-row. Just kind of ignore that part. It's not relevant. But you remember how I put those tadpoles in wrong before? I realized that I put them in wrong. And now we're gonna put them in right, the right way, yay! So these actually go into your plate with the butt side facing down. And there is a different like squishiness of these available, but I did not realize that when I purchased this board. Also, dear God, these were incredibly frustrating to install, and I would have liked installing them the other way, even though that wasn't the right way. That just was so much easier. But I guess it wasn't as bad as installing pour-on gaskets on some boards, so, you know, you choose your battles. Okay, but now you're thinking, Hipyo, you put those little things in, what now? Yeah, you literally just set it down. That's it. Yeah, there's really not much flair to this board. It just kind of works. I really do appreciate that though. It makes the setup quite easy. So then you just put the top housing on and you bop it with your WoW stick, and then you install those little non-slip feet. By the way, these feet are genius and probably my favorite part of the board. And you know what else is genius? Following my Twitter and Instagram, @HipyoTech. Go for it. This is a pretty brilliant way to make your board seem screwless. Like, very nice. Okay, so we got the switches, and what's next? It's the keycaps. And boy, oh boy, I'm freaking excited to show these keycaps off. Okay, massive bias warning. This is my keycap set. I made this. This is Infinity Delight. This is a prototype of the set. However, it'll be available to buy sometime in the next week or two, so check the link in the description. If there's one there, that means you can buy it. If there's not one there, then it's too early, I'm sorry. Now, this set has a bunch of lovely, lovely characters like Beanie, Chip, and Bobby. That's from left to right. And I've themed it on things that are very delightful, primarily like mint chip ice cream, matcha, boba, you know, the vibe. I'll talk about it more later.
Abracadabra.
Well, we're stooping to that level of magic now. Okay, cool. But anyways, back to the keycap set. It's got creamy alphas, blue-gray mods with green accents, and optional peak accents, but those aren't shown here. I am super omega proud of this set, and definitely please consider checking it out. Hit the link down below if there is one. Remember, that might not be there yet. If there's no link there, you could just follow my Discord for updates. I'll post all the updates there. But now you're probably thinking that I have a frog in my throat or something, and because I'm not talking about the keyboard. Huh. But let's talk about the keyboard. Honestly, it's okay, but I was genuinely a little bit underwhelmed. Like, this was around $400 after shipping, and that is a hefty price to be paying. Now, the gaskets here you can see give a tiny bit of flex, but it isn't the craziest thing in the world, and honestly, it feels no different than typing on an integrated plate. Like, I'm not insane, it's just really the difference between mounting styles is very overstated by a lot of people, and you can't really feel the difference here, except in your wallet. Anyways, here's the stabilizers. So, this board definitely is capable of something, and it's by no means bad. Like, those stabilizers were quite nice, honestly, quite nice. And they were Morgree stabilizers, which really suck. Now, I'll definitely tinker with this board a little bit more in the future, and my next idea was building it out with the aluminum plate to see what I think of that. If you'd like to see me do that on a stream, make sure you're subscribed. But back to the thoughts. I think this board is gorgeous, and it's quite a nice work of engineering. Now, my experience with this board is only in one configuration, so I can't speak to every possible configuration for the board, so keep that in mind when you hear my opinions on it. But with how I've configured it with the FR4 plate and hippos, it's really nothing to write home about. Like, don't get me wrong, it's definitely alright, but honestly, I don't quite see the $400 value here. But ultimately, you can decide whether or not the features of this board are interesting to you. That's the fun of keyboards, baby. Nah, but on the real, if this board is back in stock and you decided to purchase it, it wouldn't be a bad idea. However, if you were to pay anything over the retail price for it, that's a bad idea. Definitely don't buy this resale. Resale market dead, RIP. Like, I think I saw somebody trying to sell it on Mech Market for $1,200, and yeah, that would suck. Anyways, I'll be leaving you guys with an incredibly subjective sound test. Make sure you watch the whole thing to support my YouTube algorithm overlords. Like, seriously, just let it run in the background or Susan won't let me eat, please. If you enjoyed the video, give it a like, hit subscribe, and do a sound test of your own in the comments. Also remember to join my Discord or check out that link down below if it's there to check out Infinity Delight. Thanks to Beezer, Starchild, Exco, Fenny, Joseph Krang, Rosie Ray, and Aquarius Keyboards for hitting the join button down below. Thanks guys, if you want to join them, please hit join down below. Bye!